And hello, good morning, good evening, or good afternoon. Welcome to another setting of Edessa the Dark Crusade, where tonight, because if it was daytime, none of us would get out since we're vampires. Tonight, the Primogen of Clan Torador has decided to take a little time for herself. She's often busy being a Primogen, but tonight she's decided to relax. She's gone to Omar's shop, gone to the upstairs part where her people, or their people, the kindred, the children of the night, if you will, are often go to relax, and she'll go there. She'll sit on a sofa. She'll look out the window. Appreciate the night. See the night sight of Edessa. Look at the stars.
Thor's been planning to hang around in the Merchants District, waiting to speak to Memnon if he's around. But he's sort of vaguely near Omar's shop when his dog Octavius suddenly catches a whiff of something familiar and goes tail wagging into Omar's shop and upstairs. So Margot will be greeted by this sort of great lumbering pharaoh mastiff hound that just comes in. It's just like, yay, a friend.
Yeah, she'll see him. She's small. She's got friendly to animals, so she'll pet him.
It's a good dog. It's usually around when Thor's around. So it just sort of like wags its tail, thumps its tail on the floor, and Thorvald comes up after it to see who it's so friendly to. Initially he assumes it's Madeline because the dog doesn't normally react that way to most people. But when he sees it's Margot, he's still pleasantly surprised, and he will bow.
Thorvald, and you have your friend with you tonight. As she smiles at the dog.
Primogen, yes, excuse him. He's must have caught a whiff of your perfume.
It is no worries at all. I like dogs. Animals in general. Well,
Well,
I shall say with a smile. Maybe not rats.
even the rat has its intelligence.
Well,
There's something to be admired in all animals, I find.
I've had a bad experience with rats.
Yes, I do remember. He sort of remembers back to the sewer and thinks about all the rats down there. He doesn't
Speaking of
pull a face,
rats,
but he just. Yeah, speaking of rats.
speaking of rats, the worst rats come crawling up to Omar's shop. It's Irene. She's not that ratty looking, but hey,
She's sneaky.
she's sneaky. She's sneaky bitch. Even though she does have like 0 dots in stealth. So yeah, no, and just for fun because I've not used that in quite some time. She has with her a dog of her own. I think by now we can say it's kind of used to her in a way. She she's actually holding it. It's a young pup, couple of months old by now, and yeah, she'll walk in and goes upstairs, knocks on the door. If my pic's not coming up, that's a good thing. Trust me.
Thorvald turns. When he sees Irene, he smiles.
She'll walk in and does a deep curtsy for both Torvald and Margot.
Irene, good
Lady
evening.
Imogen, good evening to you.
And a friend. And a friend you have. He smiles at the puppy.
Lord Torvald, yes, this is Apollo. was a present from Mina. He is Alonso's, well, one of Alonso's pups.
Jack Russell, then, so it must be very small.
Yeah.
Thorwald looks at it in the comparison to the size of like the massive. It's like a Octavius is like a level 3 ghoul at this point, so he's not like potent. It's like a huge, great big dog. He's just like cute. He doesn't say cute because that's not really a word right now, but he says, oh, "How pleasing."
I'm still trying to train him. I don't have the natural touch for it that comes with some of the other clans. So it's more difficult to get him used to me properly.
If you need some assistance, I used to train dogs professionally for many years. Train and breed. This Octavius is the 6th of his generation.
Irene looks a little surprised at that. You want to help me with it?
Well, of course.
Oh. Thank you. I would love to take you up on that offer.
Dogs are excellent companions for us. If you train them properly and make them of the blood, they can grow in their abilities and be good scouts and helpful in investigation, as well as good guard dogs, even the small ones.
I mean, he comes from a famous father, after all.
Yes, Alonso was quite the warrior.
But if I were to make him of the blood, as you say right now, I don't think he would ever really grow big, so that would probably not be the best thing to do.
No, it takes cultivation. Dogs don't take long to grow, and the blood makes them, once they are adults, the blood makes them physically bigger and stronger, and can grant them some sentience. It's quite marvelous, really.
I see. I never really considered the option, though I knew it existed, of course. But yeah, to my fault, I must say, I neglected to bring him out. I mean, he got plenty of exercise and he was fed well. But I'm gonna try and get him a little bit more around me. But I would be very grateful with your help. If there's any way I could repay that, or if you would want a boon for it.
Thorvald shakes his head. I offered because I enjoyed to spend time with animals. It's not much chance I get to do it in the city.
I see. Well, in that case, I would be very happy to accept your offer.
He smiles. It's actually something I wanted to talk to you about this evening, so it's good that you're here, but I'm hoping that my good friend Memnon will also join us.
That's my cue. Yes, perhaps in a few minutes afterwards, you would hear the door open again. And when Memnon himself steps in, he looks around. Stop. Are you guys on the first floor or the second?
I believe the meeting room's like upstairs, so it's like the second floor.
So as he scans the place, you might just hear him plodding along. Probably from the moment his head pops out over this staircase, he'll call out to you. being surprised to see both Thorvald and Irene. Is Margot already like in full view? She's not.
Yeah, Margot is probably just playing with Thorvald's dog. I forgot his name. Sorry.
Octavius.
Octavius.
Octavius has just got his head on Margot's lap.
Okay. Well, Memnon just seems to be surprised to see Margot, but he doesn't necessarily call out to her. Why? What a gathering! It is good to see all of you here. Irene, Thorvald, and Margot.
It is good to see you. How are you this evening?
Can a person who knows no true rest ever really be tired? But if they could, that is what I would be. Tired.
Keeping yourself busy?
A little smirk crosses his face. Always.
I need to have a brief conversation with Memnon and Irene in private, if I may. But we can wait. We can chat first. I don't wish to be rude.
I shall say with a smile, kind of teasingly. Keeping secrets. You're keeping secrets now, are you, Thorvald?
It's just business, my Primogen. Business in the Merchants District.
Sure not.
Nothing of concern for you to worry about. He smiles and probably has to make a check, but I can't roll at the moment. Well, I can roll, but I can't see it, so I'll roll and you can tell me what it says.
You need someone to roll for you?
No, I can roll. It just wasn't updating for some reason just now.
95589.
Yeah, I can see it now.
Yay!
Yeah, Margot will try and I'm guessing it's a perception.
It's manipulation subterfuge.
1, 2, 3. Ooh, you're lucky there was a 1.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, he seems to be. He just seems normal. So, only take a few minutes, but yeah, we can sit and talk first. There's no urgency.
If I may ask of you, Lady Margot, perhaps we could keep a secret. There is something I'd like to ask of you in private, if you have the time.
Sorry, should he ask that? I didn't catch all of that.
He asked if he could have a private moment with you, if you have time.
I'll tell you what. Why don't Irene and I step outside, and then I can tell her. I can discuss her with the business for a minute, and then you can have your moment with Margot, Primogen Margot. He doesn't say Margot, sorry. And then we can talk in afterwards. And then that will sync up nicely, I think. If both the ladies are agreeable.
I agree. This could be a good plan.
I have no objections.
And then Thorvald will go to exit the room to sort of give Memnon and Margot the privacy.
Yeah, Irene will follow.
The dog also follows.
Yeah.
I'll let you two go first because I want to have a cigarette.
Okay. Good one. Okay. I guess when Memnon sees both Irene and Thorvald exit. I take it that that Margot's sitting down, right?
Yes.
Okay. Memnon will take a seat, and I'm going to try to roll for this. What would be the appropriate dice pool to appear friendly?
Charisma.
Charisma, empathy.
Yeah, charisma, empathy, something like that.
Though I'd make a case for charisma expression. That could
Yeah,
be done as well.
yeah.
It's either empathy or expression, I'd say. But definitely charisma.
Yeah.
Is expression with like including like just facial and body language, or is that like worded expression?
I don't know. Like, I think empathy is when you try to, relate to someone and come friendly that way, or
Expression is like you use expression for reading poetry and stuff like that. So I assume
Yeah.
that's words.
Well, I'm just going to use body language then. Would that be empathy or
that
something?
would be empathy, probably.
Empathy, probably.
Okay, I'll go for it. Yeah. So Memnon, like you see Memnon sit down, and he tries to offer you a smile and tries to convey a casual body language. Let's see how that works.
Oh shit, that's a botch.
It's terrible. Terrible.
I was
No
really
way!
I was silently hoping for it. I was like,
So Memnon smiles but accidentally flashes his fangs and comes off like dark, like
Yeah.
"Rawr."
He's either gonna come off really creepy or
Yeah.
intimidating. Take your
You're
pick.
sitting a little too close there, Memnon.
Pervy
like-
or intimidating.
He's like trying to smile friendly. It looks more animalistic and hungry. He wants to eat you, Margot. You're the nicest piece of meat in this room, and he just wants to put his teeth in you.
I wonder what you're gonna say.
Rawr.
Rawr.
Oh god, why did I even do this? Okay, I'm gonna hit myself again. Fucking hell.
I mean, Margot is used to people wanting to put things in her, but she'll.
Oh
yeah,
my god,
kind of-
that was just a bit too far, Nelson. No.
That was
She
perfect.
frowns at Memnon's. Sorry, she'll frown at Memnon. Memnon's. Well, she's not sure what he's trying to do. It seems threatening, so she frowns at him.
Stakes in you. You want to put stakes in you.
You're supposed to be outside. You're supposed to be outside. Stop it.
And her hand does go towards starts to go towards her sword. Memnon.
Lady Margot. I've been hearing some very, I'll just call them rumors. I haven't quite all pieced it together, but I decided that it was only right to come to you and ask you of them to get your side of things. After seeing you, how you defended the prince, I was impressed. Would not do you nearly justice. These rumors, I question their validity. So, without being too forward, I have heard that there are some connections, perhaps from the past, you have with what is being considered the source of some of the murders that have been happening here in the Guild's Hall.
Yes, I'm aware of that. I have let the chef know it is to be taken care of as soon as possible.
That's good. I'm very glad to hear that. I serve the sheriff as a hound, and in this matter, as you having your interests and I'm sure responsibilities to see this matter taken care of, I am willing to offer my assistance to you, and if you would offer your assistance to me in my capacity as hound. Plus, as I've perhaps stated before, we are neighbors, so.
I shall nod. Yes. I have told the prince that if I am needed, I will of course help. And he has, and well, yes, she said, and he has promised that this problem will be dealt with as soon as possible. We just need a way to get rid of it permanently. You see, we thought we had gotten rid of it once, and it seemed to come back.
May I ask what methods you use to get rid of it?
I wasn't the one that, I shall think, struck it down on that time, I believe. But I believe it was just struck down with a sword, from what I was told.
That would be quite an advantage for us, or perhaps just an equalizer. Do you have any insights to the nature of the victims it's choosing?
I heard that. You see, I'm not sure if that's it, but I think she heard that none of them were nobles. Just say that. I think, but yes, because I heard that none of them were nobles.
See.
Peasants, mostly.
The last time you dealt with this, was it here in the guild halls as well?
I believe it was struck down here at, at this very place.
Out of character when saying this very place, is she referring to Omar's shop?
Yeah, Omar's shop.
Okay, then like Memnon would just start looking over the place like, what the fuck? Didn't even notice that. I am only recently involved in this investigation, so I'm just trying to be brought up to speed. I find myself canvassing more of things that have already passed. I've yet to witness any of the events or clues left behind. So it was, I believe if Thorvald has not asked of you, we were seeking your help, perhaps having a meeting with the captain of the Guildhall's Watch. Any information I think that could be gathered about the victims might lead us closer to understanding or finding how and where this entity is going to strike again.
Sure nod. Indeed, Thorvald told me. I promised him that I could go with you next time you wanted to speak to him.
Excellent. I hope it is proper that I address you as lady, given your status. I'm still learning my customs of Dessa.
I shall think. Lady Margot, Lady Primogen, Primogen Margot, Iron Rose, all this will do.
Very good. I hope that by us being neighbors, we can forge a strong bond. I hope I did not insult you by being so forward. The I am one that appreciates brevity and directness. It's only a sign of respect, not to waste your time with games of intrigue.
I do not mind the question you asked me. The way you looked at me was somewhat... I'm not sure if it was supposed to be threatening, but that's the way it looked to me.
Oh no, that is just how I appear when I smile. Seems to be a curse of mine.
I shall nod.
Though I did not mean you in any way harm or a threat.
Good. Shall smile. I am trying to better the relationship between Toreador and all clans I'm not here. I'm sure you want to help with this. Lasambra could do with having the Toreador as an ally, as the Toreador could do with having the Lasambra as an ally.
Indeed. That reminds me, one of your clanmates came to me looking to work with me as a fellow tradesman, artisan, a creator, if you will. His name was Leofdig, I believe that is the pronunciation.
Leofdig, yes. I am aware of him. If he wants to work with you, good. It will help our clans working hand in hand.
Good. I would hope that by taking in this partnership, this will be a step forward.
And she'll nod.
So, I guess if there's nothing Nelson wants to ask of Memnon.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Thorvald will just take Irene aside in like a private area, not downstairs where there's customers and stuff, but he just says, last night I stood in at a meeting that Margot had with Sol Adrian of Clan Setite.
I see.
What concerned me about it was the way that he spoke of you. He seemed to infer that you were acting suspiciously and that you've been involved with a lot of these infernalist artifacts. And he was relaying that to the Primogen, casting his own shadow on his appeal to her for assistance in rooting out the infernalism. And I wanted to let you know that he was casting shadows your way. I know they are only shadows, and that you have no involvement in infernalism. Quite the contrary. But we must be very wary of the Setites at this time. Lady Madeline is quite adamant that at least one Setite is involved in infernalism, and although she has no basis for this, she's not the sort of person to make a big deal about nothing. And nor are you. and I saw how you reacted when Soladrin was trying to read the tablet in the Elysium, and that's why I created the distraction to get him away from it.
Thank you. So, the Setite is trying to return the favor then?
He wants to commission a group of neonates or a group of us to go to Elba, or see, I don't know if it's called Elba, I can't actually remember the place. The place that is described in these tablets.
I see.
And he seems quite keen to get his hands on these artifacts himself.
He's a fool. He knows not what he's dealing with. I mean, he's right in one thing. I have had a lot of dealings with the situation with the stone slates. I know some things about it, probably not all that there is to know about them, but I have some information that I know not everybody has. And I know the danger of it. If he wants to call me out on infernalism, that might get into an interesting situation. And I think that is something that he does on purpose after Madeline's actions.
Madeline is an intelligent woman, but sometimes she can be
Overzealous.
impulsive. They say that at the same time, and he just sort of nods at her response.
I have to say, I would not be one to distrust Lady Madeline's opinions. She is, to me, an elder of my clan and a very much respected one still. But Gufran is my coterie mate, and I have difficulties believing these accusations. I will be honest.
As far as I've been able to ascertain, there's no founding in these accusations, and it's just a lot of secrets and suppositions and mud throwing, but this mud throwing is getting dangerous.
I think this is why Solahadrin is returning the favor, going after a neonate of Clan La Sombra, one who recently, well, taken a blow. It's harder to go after Memnon. I understand why he does it. If he were to be called out for it, he would simply point at our clan and be like, but they did it too. Which feels very much like his style. I would be careful following him into anything, in all honesty.
I'm not eager to go delving around in ancient ruins that I know nothing of, especially as we don't have any idea of the power of these things.
No. And I will be honest, I will have to inform my sire of this.
Yes. Well, I owe my allegiance. I work well with all the clans in the city, but my true allegiance I have pledged to my own clan and to Clan the Sombra. Clan Gangrel and Clan the Sombra are allies, as affirmed in Elysium and the coming in of the prince, and therefore it's my duty to inform you of any of these things. I don't want this name calling to get out of hand, because it could be potentially extremely dangerous. If everyone's a suspect, it's going to breed violence between the clans.
Everyone is a suspect, in a manner of speaking. But that also means that no one is. I try not to judge quickly. The only person I'm worried about right now is upstairs. And I'm not worried because of her, but because I am afraid that something might be listening in.
I'm keeping a close eye.
I think she herself is as truthful as can be. But this Solahadrin of Clan Setite, like I said, he's dealing with things that ultimately he does not understand because he does not know what it all entails, and he's trying to find out. He's going about it through arrogance, claiming he knows more than others instead of asking what others know about it. I think it might become his ruin if he decides to throw himself in the way he seems to be doing.
He intends to petition all the Primogen to commission this trip. The prince has already refused him.
I am not surprised. If anyone knows what's going on, it's most likely the prince, next to my sire.
I doubt he'll get his way, but he's going to try.
Of course he is.
Sorry about that.
Anyway, I'll let Memnon know on the way home the same thing.
Yes,
And you can relay your information to Prince Oleg.
I shall do so. If you want to know more, I am more than willing to share information. My sire has given me permission to do so. But
We will meet in a less conspicuous place and we can discuss all the information laid out. There might be ears here after Lady Giovanni's visit the other night. I felt uneasy. I'm not sure, too sure that this place isn't watched.
I see.
It's a public place where Cainites meet, so if there are outside influences in the city, they may have this place on tap.
I agree. Perhaps I should speak with this Solahadrin myself on this. Try and make him understand somewhat of the things that he's dealing with, but I am not sure if it would stop him. He seems hungry for things that most of us run away from.
He's hungry for power.
This is not the way to get it. The way he goes, it will only lead to slavery of himself, and with any bad luck of others that follow him.
Thorvald sort of shrugs his shoulder. It's quite obvious he doesn't care what happens to Solidrin. Fools that chase power are often crushed by the weight. Just be careful in your dealings with him. He has no time or respect for neonates. And if you go alone, he may be belligerent with you. Just be careful.
He has the right to belittle me. I am only a neonate. And after my actions, not someone very high standing of the court, despite my sire. But I am still a child of my sire. He would not deal with me so easily. I've looked at an elder Ventru in the eyes. I can take a Setite.
Thorvald nods. Let's go back out before they suspect.
Of course.
Margot is a perceptive woman. I don't know if I can avoid her gaze for too long. Thorvald will just go back up the stairs and he'll knock to make sure that you can come in.
Yeah,
You may come in.
He comes in and sits down and lights his pipe. Has Memnon moved, or is he still sat super creepy close to Margot?
You're muted, by the way. She's
Yeah,
still.
he's kind of just like relaxed backwards, like leaning back in his chair.
So,
Hmm?
Torval just says so, sort of like, also acting relaxed.
Margot's just smiling. Actually, looking at the time, yeah, shall say I have to go. But I hope you three will enjoy the rest of your evening.
Undoubtedly. I have more work to do before my bed calls me.
And she'll do a bow to everyone in the room as she leaves.
Torval stands to bow to her as she goes.
Very no
Night.
courtesy.
Night, guys.
Good night.
Later.
Just to save time, Thorvald will, once Margot's left, Thorvald will just relate the same information that he told to Irene to Memnon about Soladrin. I assume you heard it, OC.
Yeah.
So he just sort of rehashes that and fills you in.
Okay. Memnon will just give a brief overview of the questions he asked Margot, so he'll convey that he feels confident in her desire to resolve this issue.
Thorvald says, she's taken me on board as a trusted guard and ally. I'm spending quite a lot of time in her presence, so I'm keeping a very close eye on her.
The thing that troubles me is not so much that she has no pure intentions. I think her intentions are honest and she wants to help. However, I fear that when it comes to actually planning something regarding the deaths in the guild halls, despite her intentions, I'm afraid something might still be listening in. After all, as far as I'm led to believe, it is the cellar of her bathhouse that is used for the place to, well, sacrifice these people.
That's what I heard as well from the Master of Bones.
Yes, I was there when he inspected one of the bodies.
I may have to go and have a look.
Indeed,
I would
like
not go there on your own. Not even if you have Margot with you as a backup, because I'm not sure. Torvald, you were there when we were at Johanneshaven, right?
He looks down at the mention of Johanna's name. Yes.
If that would happen again in Margot's cellar, and it would only be you, or it would only be the two of you, and that might be an issue.
Lady Irene, may I ask you a few questions regarding this incident in the cellar?
Of course. You can ask me whatever you want.
Do you know how this entity, this being, whatever you may call it, came into the city? or I suppose into existence?
I do not know that. The first time I and many others saw this demon, it was but very small. It was the night the plague broke out in the city. Many of us had gathered for a social event, poetry reading, at Margot's bathhouse, when we heard rumor outside. We went up to the tower and stood out on the balcony. We saw panic rising in the streets as people were screaming, and the plague literally swept around, going very fast, almost as if it was a wild animal. When we were there on that balcony, the door closed and the doorknob disappeared, only to reappear with a demon against the wall of the tower, I believe.
A tower? What tower?
Of Margot's bathhouse. It has a tower. The demon was toying, wanted to make a deal in return of the doorknob, and at that point, Margot accepted that deal.
What was the nature of the deal?
I am not sure. I was, in all honesty, more concerned with the situation downstairs than the situation up there. There were many people who were trying to find out exactly what happened, including the Tremere, Lord Aldrich. He was up there as well with us. Others as well, but they have since, I believe, passed from the city. But there was a deal made, and we got the doorknob, so the door could be opened. It was not the wisest of moves, but it happened. I don't think Margot quite knew what she was getting herself into. Didn't realize the full extent of the problems.
As far as I understand, if you make a deal with a demon, it binds itself to you.
Yes.
Is this what? At least this is what I've been told by those with occult knowledge.
That's what I believe too, because we met this demon again here in the shop. Lady Madeline, myself, Lady Margot, and Lady Johanna of Clantoriador. I don't think you've ever met her. We're here. Madeline tried to stake Lady Margot. And as she did, the demon appeared here, much larger. And we got into a fight with it. If it had not been for the interruption of my sire, who managed to, well, strike the demon, I think our situation would have been much worse. I was only able to hold him with some of my tentacles for a little while. And others were just as unfortunate as I was.
The demon I encountered in Johanna's place, well, I should say both Irene and I and some others, including the Merchant of Bones, encountered, was able to take hold of Johanna's body, set fire to the building, punch people clean through the roof. It nearly killed me.
Yes. I do believe that was the same entity.
May I ask one more question?
Of course.
This door, what was behind it? What did it unlock?
the way back inside, we were on a balcony.
Memnon gives you the most bewildered look.
We could have crushed the door. We could even have, well, there were many ways to get back inside. It was not, well, like I said, the smartest of moves on Lady Margot, but I think she felt pressured, being after all her place, and well, the others were sort of what I understood, mocking the entire situation.
It's understood that Johanna is an infernalist and she's been rid of the city. She's no longer here, as she was marked infernalist and no longer welcome.
She was present as well at the balcony.
I don't understand. I don't know fully what she got into with this demon, but it's, from my understanding, she made some promises with it as well. Therefore, it must have grown in power from having two hosts.
That's
Something
what
like
I
that.
understood. Though I'm not sure. It's a complicated situation, and one that I believe Margot, as she's been cleared of all accusations, has no blame in, but was more a victim of the situation. That does not mean that there might not still be a connection between herself and the demon. That's what I'm afraid of.
And I. But my endeavour is to protect this city and to serve our prince. And I will make sure that nothing takes place in the guild halls. Margot's given me quite a lot of access so far. And I haven't seen anything. I've been to her haven. I've been present for long hours in the bathhouses and in the guild halls, and I haven't seen anything suspicious.
But I've understood
Yes.
from... Oh, sorry. Please go ahead, Samemnon.
It's okay. Memnon would just ask, do you think if Margot was staked again, this demon would appear?
That's Madeline's theory, but I'm not encouraging her on it. I don't think it's the wisest move for her to go after the Toreador Primogen and to stake her without real proof.
I would not ask her, I would not expect her to take it involuntarily. I would ask her if she would participate.
But if the demon is listening in and knows that this is voluntarily done, see my point, then it might know that Margot is in no danger and it would not come. I can understand why this would need to be done without Margot's knowledge. The thing is, I would not like to do that either, especially not since, well, she is a Primogen, and as I said, I think her intentions are pure. I would not like to harm her.
It puts everybody at risk. If we weren't prepared fully, it would put everyone at risk.
Right. It is something that I think that if it could work, it does work, then we can bring it to us when we are prepared.
The only
right there.
The thing, though, it might not be connected to Margot anymore and just using her place as any kind of place, really. I have a feeling that this demon has connected itself to the situation in the palace with the former prince, and therefore has allies with those people who made that attack. I also believe that it might have ties to another enemy that we have within the city.
Oh.
Stone Slates, their owner.
Thord looks at Irene like, go on, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Her-
remember saying.
Her name is Black Mary, or Mary the Black. I'm not fully in the know of everything that she is. You'd need to ask my sire about her. He came to the city hunting her after she destroyed Constantinople, or helped destroying Constantinople, at least. That's what I understood.
And we have this person in the city just moving about?
Yes. Have you heard of the fire in the Noble's Quarter?
Thord nods.
I believe I did.
That was her.
Saints
And
preserve us.
Balefire, if that says anything to you.
what clan claims her?
What I've understood, she is Bali.
Thord just doesn't shake his head because he doesn't know anything about Barley.
To me.
I
I don't
believe
really know what they stand for, but
I will ask my sire.
I would urge you, if you want to know more about her in particular, to go and speak with my sire, Prince Ulrich. As I said, he came here hunting her down, and after the fire in the Noble's Quarter, he seemed to believe that it would be helpful if more people in the city knew. He first tried to keep it silent because of the threat that she poses. But I believe now he believes that opening up is better, but he knows more. I might give you misinformation simply due to the fact that I do not know the entire situation well enough.
Perhaps you could foster a meeting between us and Prince Ulrich.
I will do my best. I can ask him to come here to speak to everybody who is interested in hearing about this, but these stone plaques, slates, whatever you want to call them, she's after them. They hold some significant meaning to her.
I understand why you were so anxious now at the Toreador Elysium.
The idea of her finding out that plate was in their possession, yes, I wanted it to get away from public eye as fast as possible. I realize I may not have used the most inconspicuous way of dealing about it, but I was afraid we would have a second palace situation.
Well, from what I've seen of the Sombra so far, they're not exactly subtle, but they are effective. I've had a lot to think about tonight. I think I must retire and contemplate this. I will look to joining you in speaking with Prince Ulrich. I've promised that I will help to rid the city of infernalists, and I will. They've cost me one friend already, they won't cost me another.
I am invested as well, for reasons that I cannot speak of right now, not without my sire's permission. But I will get into contact with him, and I'll ask him to come to Edessa for a night to explain the situation to those who, like I said, are willing to hear it.
We need to think of a safe place to host him. if this Black Mary hears he's coming to the city, then she might make an appearance.
So far, she's not. But I don't know.
Thorwald stands.
Just be extremely cautious. None of us, even the three of us together, would not be a match for her.
See Memnon kind of just snort at that.
You think I'm joking, Memnon? Or that I'm
Of course not.
over-exaggerating?
Of course not, Lady Irene. I don't think that you're joking at all, but everyone can die.
I agree.
And all Infernalists must die. I'll bid you safe travels and hope to hear from you soon. He'll bow to them both.
Irene will
Memnon,
curtsy.
Memnon will just extend a hand and say, safe travels, my friend.
Thorwald shakes his hand firmly. And he will make his way out and back to Madeline's Haven.
Memnon would ask Lady Irene if she would like to take a walk wherever her knight would guide her.
Yes, sure.
Then I mean, well, then he'll just be following you, considering that is in the proximity of his domain. I was wondering, Lady Irene, if I can impress upon you for a favor.
Of course. Name it.
Of course, I would be more than obliged to return said favor in any capacity that I can.
Memnon, you're of my clan.
Hmm.
I would not refuse you any simple request.
I know your interests and activities in Riverside has consumed a lot of your time and attention. It also happens that I myself have minuscule interest in Riverside, but nonetheless, I've embarked on helping the captain of the watch there. There's some construction projects he hopes to see brought to completion without much interference from criminal remnants. There's an order of new armaments that would help facilitate their new standing, boosting morale, and of course, just the mundane practicality of new, better gear. Plus, there's also some unsavory elements amongst the tradesmen that have, well, benefited from the gang's activity. All this I do to facilitate a certain end I desire. I have lent my own aid into the construction project as it is going forward. Alas, it has treating this with such urgency. I may have presented myself a little too intimidating. Several applications of our force of will that is preternatural to our blood. I fear hurt my reputation some. Though fear is good to cultivate. It's not quite what I'm prepared for just yet. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying. I'm not quite understanding the request that you're making of me.
Lady Irene. And you see, Memnon is kind of uncomfortable saying this. Perhaps with your wisdoms and charms and your gift of eloquence, could you help
I see.
rehabilitate my reputation?
I see. I apologize. You want me to put in a good word for you on the street?
Something to that effect. While I suppose I want people to understand one thing. No matter what I do, no matter how aggressive or vicious I may be, I do it for the greater good.
I see.
I could not express with any eloquence the urgency that I'm sure you would understand Riverside needs. So, I had to be somewhat forceful.
I understand. I will think on it. I'll need to come up with a plan. After all, as you may realize, it's not my face that is known for helping out Riverside. In fact, outside of our clan, there is, I don't think, anyone, save for the few people in the City Watch with whom I've had contact, that know that this was my doing.
I see. Still, I trust in your capabilities, Irene.
I will see what I can do.
Then I would be in your debt.
Between friends, there is no debt.
Well, if that's the case, then have I mentioned I've acquired a new business? I don't know if you involve yourself with small commerce of any sort, but
Rarely.
if you hear of an opportunity in a way that you could profit, should my warehouse help you facilitate that, and do let me know.
I shall, thank you.
So I suppose whichever direction Irene is going in, once if they pass the edge of the guild halls, we'll just politely ask if she needs an escort the way home.
Irene will smile and will say, I'm quite safe on my own.
I'm very certain of that. Well then, I'll bid you good evening.
Good evening to you too, Memnon.
And with that, I suppose we can bring our scene to an end. Thank you, players, for playing, and the watchers for watching. This was Deaths of the Dark Crusade. See you again.